Our guest today is a female founder who wears several hats and crafts powerful stories that inspire people to live authentic lives. Joining us to talk about her books, Believe, A Life Touched by Miracles, and the soon-to-be-released Eulogy for a Superhero, is author, speaker, empowerment and wellness coach, and all-women entrepreneurship circuit Canada member, Gaby Pineda. Hi, Gaby.
Hi.
Welcome to your local show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, love.
You are so multi-talented. But today, let's talk about Gaby, the author. When did you start writing, and what inspired you to write?
I actually started writing at a very young age because of everything that was going on in my life. I found that I had two outlets. I started off with dance, not trained dance, just dance.
Okay.
And when I couldn't dance anymore because I got injured during university, my mom wouldn't allow me to take any dance classes because they weren't, academic. I sneaked behind her back and I took some dance lessons in university, but then I got injured and I realized that I had to get what I had inside of me out, whether it was frustrations or joy, all my emotions, my thoughts, my philosophies, and I was only 18 years old, but I had a lot in my mind. So I started writing, and I literally just started writing little notes on pieces of paper. That's where it started. And then when I moved a few years way back, I came across some university papers that I had written, and I thought, wow, who wrote these? And I didn't realize that I had written them because it had been so long ago. And I actually went to a psychic medium, and she said, you're working on a book. And I was working at a hotel in the reservations department in a hotel by the airport. And I got so bored because there was no business coming in that I just started writing again, little notes on scrap pieces of paper, and I started gathering them. And I thought, one day I'm gonna give this to my kids, and they're gonna read my story and understand how I was able to overcome everything that I went through in life to get to where I'm going to be. And
that's very empowering,
Yeah.
You're putting your thoughts into writing, and you're actually manifesting, that in a couple of years, you'll be a writer.
It wasn't even with that intention at the time. And then when I went to see the psychic medium, and it wasn't just one, it was several of them, they all said, I see you writing and writing and writing and teaching courses. And I thought, they're out of their mind. There's no way. I didn't see myself doing that at that time, but I was well on the way of achieving it.
How has your writing evolved since you first started publishing your work? And let's talk about, is this your first book, Believe?
No, my first book was called The Dating Adventures of My Traveling Panties.
Oh my!
And it was all about my dating
fun.
misadventures.
Yes.
I published that in 2011. I've since taken it off circulation because I'm going to be re-releasing it as the book that you see over here, which is The Search for Healthy Love and Finding It Within, because I have evolved a lot since I wrote that book.
Yes.
There's a lot more wisdom with that and a lot of understanding about my patterns and the people's patterns who I dated at that time. And it actually stemmed from an exercise that a therapist gave me to do because I was a serial monogamer.
Okay.
I had never done the whole dating thing. I literally would meet someone, started dating, and that was it. I stayed in a relationship with them. And she said, you've never dated multiple people at the same time, and I felt very uncomfortable with that notion. I said, no. So she said, well, your homework for the next 2 weeks is to go out with a different person for coffee every night, and then bring me back your findings.
Okay.
So from that,
you need to do research. You're documenting things.
I was doing research, and a book came out of it because I said I either turn these into funny stories or I get depressed.
Okay. And so from The Search for Healthy Love to Believe, and your upcoming book, Eulogy for a Superhero. What is the central theme to all of your stories?
Okay, so really the central theme is empowerment, regardless of what the stories are. Believe focuses on the spiritual aspect of my life. Ever since I was a little girl, I experienced a lot of miraculous events that are really hard to explain, but they were real.
Wow.
And the first one, I was 3 years old, and the middle finger of my right hand got caught in a car door.
That sounds familiar. I had an accident similar to that.
So, you know, and if you look at the finger of a 3-year-old, they're tiny, tiny little fingers. I could see the bone. There was blood everywhere. It was in really bad shape. My grandmother was a devout Catholic, and she believed that God could heal us. So she took me in her arms, put my finger in her hand, and started praying to the Sacred Heart. She had a little bust of the Sacred Heart on a wall. Started praying, and 20 minutes later, my uncles had gone to get the doctor. The doctor walked in, and my finger was fully healed. And that was a miraculous event that she believed was real. I mean, there was blood everywhere. The doctor examined me. There was nothing wrong with my finger. So she always encouraged me to go to church to thank God for this miracle. And at 3, I told her that God and I were like this, that I had a special relationship with God, and I did not need to go to church because God was inside of me. One of the stories is about a healing moment that I experienced years afterwards. I felt defeated in life. I felt that everything that I had done had come to a halt and literally imploded itself. So I got down on my knees at a church, and I said, God, this is out of my hands. I leave this in your capable hands because I screwed up and I don't know how to get myself out of this hole. And I felt the most beautiful love energy surround me. I started crying, not for pity, not for sadness, joy, because I'd never felt so much love in my life.
That's very inspiring, Gaby. And so for your book, Eulogy for a Superhero, what lesson would you want your readers to glean from your story here?
So Eulogy for a Superhero is a story of empowerment and forgiveness. No matter what your background is, no matter what kind of trauma you've been through, and some people will say to me, I don't have any trauma, but we all have wounds from the past that affect us, and every decision we make from that moment on. What I can say to people is that no matter what your story is, you can choose to empower yourself and to make whatever you choose your life to be like, the type of person you want to be and the type of people you want to surround yourself with. There is no need to go into victimhood. We often go through the victimhood stage, but we don't have to stay there. We can choose empowerment, and your life can be anything you choose it to be.
Inspirational book author Gaby Pineda, where can we get your books?
On Amazon, but really any online store that you choose. It is on iBooks, Amazon, Goodreads, you name it, it's out there. Yes.
Thank you so much, Gaby.
Thank you.